There's a very important event coming up here next week. The City of Rochester's inaugural Upstate MWBE Conference, March 22nd through the 24th. Our guest this morning to highlight it, Constance Mitchell-Jefferson. Glad to have you here.
Thank you.
For starters, let's talk about MWBEs.
Sure.
What are they and what is the goal of this conference coming up?
Yes. So MWBE stands for Minority and Women-Owned Business Enterprises, and it is a federal designation, but it is a state certified process. So in New York State, individuals will fill out the desire to become an M or a W business enterprise, and then that certification will allow them to bid on or work on state contracts.
Now it's such a competitive field when you're putting out bids for work. What are some of the struggles, the obstacles for some of these smaller business owners of, whether it's a construction job or whether it's something else?
Yes, so I believe the biggest challenge right now is the post-COVID era that we're living in. Small businesses were really decimated after COVID. They're all in a rebuilding status. They're all trying to get their staffing back up, get their equipment, back in use, and all of those sort of things, the challenges that any business faces, but particularly with smaller businesses that pretty much lost all of their workforce because of COVID, did not get an opportunity to compete because they didn't have the funding or the staffing or whatever to allow them to compete during COVID times.
And part of this just has to be like an FAQ of just getting the information out there of these opportunities for some of these people who may not have realized it before.
Right, so in the city we use a system called BidNet, which is a statewide through Empire State Purchasing Council software that we use to put all of our bids on. And in New York State they use a system called the State Contract Reporter. And then there's the federal government uses SAM and different things like that. So to get the word out of what kind of opportunities are out there.
Finally, we always hear about conferences in Albany or people from here going to New York City. You wanted to do this here. What's it going to mean? Definitely.
We wanted to do this here. New York State is divided up into 9 regions, and we're very fortunate that in upstate New York, we have 4 of those regions right here in our backyard. We are the Finger Lakes region, which consists of the 9-county Rochester area. We also have the Western New York region, which is Buffalo, Central New York, which is Syracuse, and then the Southern Tier. So when we decided we wanted to do this conference, we basically said we're going to include all of upstate New York because we go to these conferences down in Albany, and one of the things that we always realize is that it's not a lot of people from upstate New York participating in this conference, but we know that they have needs, we know that they have challenges, we know that they have businesses, and that they need to have information and they need to have resources just like any other business.
The resources out there all coming up, part of Rochester's inaugural Upstate MWBE Conference. That is the 22nd through 24th to help minority and women business owners learn how they can compete for these government contracts. We're going to have more information posted at rochesterfirst.com about signing up and more information